Hey, what's going on, guys? Battle Nations Emperor here, back today with another video. And today, guys, we are discussing boss strikes. More specifically, what will the first boss strike be like and who will it be about? And when will boss strikes come out? And how can you prepare for boss strikes? Of course, we have no definitive answers for these, but we can certainly speculate and take some pretty good, educated guesses with the wiki we do have. So, of course, this will probably be our second to last video on boss strikes before boss strikes come out, so for a while, and that's perfectly fine. The last video we're going to do is just a complete history breakdown of them, probably within the next 2 weeks, so keep an eye out for that if you're a boss strike enjoyer. And yeah, without any further ado, let's jump right into today's video, starting out with the boss strike wiki, straight from the horse's mouth, as described by an original Z2 employee, and I quote, "Defeating units in a boss strike battles and donating resources generates boss points. The more boss points you generate, the more the bar moves up." So, couldn't really have said it better myself. Basically, yeah, it's as simple as that. You battle and you can donate resources, mainly battling, because donating resources was a scam. I mean, look at these prices. Outrageous. But yeah, mainly through battling bosses after bosses, you get more of these boss points. Fair enough. And just to go ahead and read the overview, here it is, and I'll go ahead and read it for anybody who doesn't feel like reading it, would just like an audio. Perfectly understandable. Here it is. Boss strike events allow individuals and guilds to battle waves of enemies for rare resources and exclusive units. The type of event was first implemented in the 3.0 patch. Anyone, regardless of level, can attempt to scale the tiers by engaging in battles and donating resources. These events will last for multiple days. Each boss strike event will yield exclusive resources, including unique units, resources, and nanobots. The rewards are offered as prizes as players advance through the tiers by earning boss strike points. And they look like this little green emblem right here. Players earn boss points in one of two ways. Donate the resource requested, which normally is something like lumber, steel, concrete, one of those advanced resources. And two, fight and defeat enemy units in wave formation. Players can choose to participate in this event solo or in a guild, and that's absolutely not freaking true. So for the very first iteration, that also shows how old this wiki is, the very first few boss strikes you could do by yourself, alone. But I believe it was around boss strike 4 that they made it that you could only do guild, and then from ever going forward, you could only do guild. And just to be fair, the solo was just for people who did not, for whatever reason, want to join a guild, but maybe they were maxed out and like crazy addicted to the game and they wanted tier 3, right? To get the very first, not as cool unit, but still a pretty freaking cool unit, right? Completely understandable. For those people, they let them do it. Nowadays, and I imagine when Madrona brings it back, no freaking way this happens. You're going to have to be in a guild, and fair enough, this is a guild event. And then the last bit of the overview reads, below you will find a simple overview of how boss strike systems work and what you need to know to successfully participate in the official explanation of a boss strike can be found here. And it goes into the very basics of what a boss strike is, and it goes into basically the details of battle nations. Like, for example, SP, getting SP with that. And also, by the way, SP is, I'll go ahead and read it actually, because that one is interesting. After the battle, SP is awarded to all units who participated. As usual, even if the player's army is completely wiped out. Although originally not as intended feature, it was added in the middle of Boss Strike 2. Noted, player SP is earned if the army retreats. Or more specifically, no SP is earned if the army retreats, which is just like a regular battle, completely understandable. But you do earn, after Boss Strike 2, SP, and I would imagine Madrona would keep that. So just wanted to point that out for anybody curious about SP implications. And I will go ahead and read a little bit more of battle because some of it is just discussing whether or not steel is a good idea. My personal opinion, not, because this is saying 3,000 steel for 100 boss points, which is the equivalent to about 1 enemy. Brother, I like 3,000 steel. No way you're going to catch me donating 3,000 of it for 1 Raider Warrior worth of points. Heck no, but I'll go ahead and read battles real quick. Selecting the fight option in the boss strike event screen will start a battle that consists of multiple waves. Battles can be tailored out so you're level, so anyone can participate. The more difficult an enemy is, the more boss strike points they will yield when defeated. Any unit you lose in battle will be sent to your hospital or repair bay. On the right is an example of what a level 60 encounter may look like. And here's that example. Of course, I don't think any of us would have all these gold tanks, but the point still stands. And also, what a cool looking formation on the enemy side is pretty freaking cool if you ask me. And then it's just the FP. And one more, which I'll go ahead and read right now. For each unit you kill, you will earn boss strike points. Even if you lose, any boss points you've earned so far, will be credited only one time. The only time this isn't true is if you retreat. The boss points rewarded multiple by a small amount with each subsequent wave players successfully complete. These points are added to the boss point progression towards the current tier reward. These points also count towards personal achievements. And achievements goes into personal achievements, which are a whole other thing which we might see the return of. And we can make a video if you guys are curious on that. But continuing right along, as it basically says, guild waiting, then it just talks about the old boss strikes. We here on the channel have made a video covering every single one. All 21 boss strikes have been covered on the channel. In fact, I'll link them in the description below if you're interested in any one of them. I think it was like a 4-part series. So yeah, drop that down below for anybody curious. And yeah, one last thing I do want to read over before jumping into what we can expect and how we can prepare for it, because let's be honest, biggest thing we all want is we want to make sure we can secure tier 10 for ourselves and our own guild. And by the way, if you're curious and if you need your own guild, we have the Battle Nations Imperial Guild, and the link for that is dropped right below in this very video as well. It should actually be like, I think, the first link in the description down below. Everybody's welcome, and if you're max level, you're certainly welcome in the main guild, but even if you're just starting off, you're more than welcome in one of our multiple guilds. And yeah, you can learn more about that in the description below. But with all that being said, let's focus on the trivia of today's list, and then we'll talk about the future. So the trivia for the boss strikes is the 3x3 formation will not occur since boss strike 2. And that's unfortunate because I love 3x3 formations. But what that means for anybody who may not know is it's basically this. When you fight a unit and it's only giving you the option to attack 3x3. This is most mammoth battles, it's a few naval battles, and it is a few mission battles, but normally it's random occurrence battles that are small enough. They're super easy to do, and that's why they were only in Boss Strike 1, because they're way too freaking easy. And there's a little bit in Boss Strike 2. Never saw it myself, but I did hear it, and even the wiki says it here, so I'm inclined to believe it. But yeah, Boss Strike 1, it was super awesome because it was basically free points. Boss Strikes have a 5-day duration until Boss Strike 12. Then they're more volatile. They change it, especially at the end there, multiple times. But it could range pretty much. We'll get to see exactly what Boss Strike 12 was. It was only 4 days. So to see, you know, instead of it even says that. I'll go ahead and throw it up on screen as well. This boss strike will run for 4 days instead of the traditional 5. The total boss points required have been adjusted accordingly. So even though it was quicker, you didn't have as many points. And finally, the last 3 aren't as interesting, but we'll still go ahead. Boss strikes tend to start on a Thursday and on a Tuesday. Probably not true for the new one, but we'll see. Boss Strike 12 is special as it allowed Z2 players to choose from previous Boss Strike rewards, making them non-special in my opinion. Kinda hurt when it happened, at least in my opinion. And Boss Strike 12 changed the unit cap from 13 to 10. It reduced the amount of enemy waves from 5 to 2 to 5, added unit limitations, and toggled the required points for each Boss Strike accordingly. And is it any wonder why we never got another unique Boss Strike after that? Sorry, that slipped out. Nevertheless, moving right along, let's end this video off strong. How can we prepare accordingly? So of course, real quick, I'll go through some bullet points and we can talk about this more in the comments. Would love to start a discussion down there. But in short, try to get as high level as you can. The higher level you are, the better guild you can join, and more likely the better guild you can get in. That's pretty self-explanatory. What can I do if I'm already maxed out, already have good stuff? Very simple. Train up the best non-nanopod units you can afford. And if you can afford nanopod units that are maxed right now, like for example, supers, if you can max out your wimps, anything like that is unbelievably massive. Also, if you can max out wimps or even just get them one more rank up, unbelievably helpful. And if you get them, beyond helpful. And finally, the last two things I do want to say because they're absolutely important. One, try to join a guild right now. Of course, I would love to have you in my guild, the Empire, and you are more than welcome to join. But if you don't want to join us, completely understandable. Please join the Battle Nations Discord where you can meet numerous, over a dozen different guilds already trying to recruit people, already would love to have you, and guilds aren't even in the game yet, right? But I highly recommend joining a guild before guilds come out so you're already prepared as soon as they drop. And finally, all I can say is be ready. It's going to be a lot of fun, and just go into it with an open mind. I think Madrona is going to let us in easy, and I'm pretty hyped for it. And yeah, guys, that will do it for us today. I just wanted to make one more boss strike video before the big last super one. That will just about do it. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider dropping a like down below and subscribing to the channel if you are new. Have any questions, suggestions, anything boss strike related, please drop a comment down below. And yeah, guys, that will do it for us today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, have a great rest of your day.